All right. Hello, everyone. Um, Been a little while. Hopefully, you can see me and hear me okay. Yeah, so I was in Shift the other day, just shifting about, and I went into the Shifty plan and realized that I've got a couple apps that are still out here floating around on Laravel 8. Which is fine, I guess. I don't really necessarily like do much, for example, with this products.jsonmccreary.me. In fact, it's really only for Black Friday. Same with the workshops. This is something I did probably 3, 4 years ago now. So for those reasons, it's not a huge deal that they're not updated, but I started updating everything to PHP 8.1 and just thought, you know what, it's a good opportunity to get everything on Laravel 9, which of course uses PHP 8 as its base requirement and supports PHP 8.1. Later versions of Laravel 8 actually do support PHP 8.1 as well, but again, if I'm going through the trouble of updating everything, running composer update on all of these things, redeploying everything, let's just run Shift and get all these things on Laravel 9. I mean, after all, I'm the creator of Shift, so that's what I'm going to do. I just thought it'd be fun to live stream it as a good opportunity to make me do it, but also to demo Laravel Shift in action, which I like to do. I like to take the opportunity to do that because I still think there's some people out there that haven't seen it. So let's just get in here. I'm going to just kind of go down the line for the ones that are mine. I know Gifty Duck, for example, is Jess, so I'll tell her to upgrade hers to Laravel 9. So let's go down here. There should be a way to... Oh, I thought there was like a handy, helpful run the next thing over here, but I guess not. Okay, that's fine. So let's just open up a new window then. And I'm going to go down to the shifts and purchase, and let's get zoom out of my way. So this is Laravel Shift, or wait, no, this is base Laravel, sorry, whoops. Let's put in base laravel.com. Master branch is fine, check out and run. And again, I'm on a plan, so I don't have to enter any credit card details. So let's fire that off in the background. I'm just going to get all these run, and we're going to go through them one by one. But let's go ahead and get them all run in the background here. So here's getting Git. I'll have to remember why that's not showing up that way. Let's sneak attack it this way here. I'm going to copy this instead and see if this little feature works the way I intended. So let's purchase this. I should be able to paste that in there. Great. All right, good. So you can paste the clone URL in there too, which is much faster. All right, and then the next one is those products, or actually there's two more, products and then workshops. So let's close that down. We got getting Git. Let's take the products, run Shift, purchase, paste, master's fine, check out and run. And then finally, workshops by JMac. Let's run another Shift, purchase, paste, master. I think some of these might be the main branch now. I think I went through and changed a few, but anyway, there they are. Base Laravel, getting Git, workshops by JMac. Oh, where's my products one? Did I not finish that one? Is that floating around here? Maybe I didn't hit run on that. So let's get to it. Oh, we got a failure on that. Maybe I changed that to the main branch. It's possible. It looks like my other one's not on here for some reason, so let's just rerun it. Paste, master, check out and run. Maybe I didn't hit run. All right, it's queuing up. We had an issue with that, so we'll come back. But let's get into base Laravel. All right, so we get a nice pull request as usual. Let's go check out this branch and follow all the stuff that it says here. So I'm going to go to baselaravel.com, get... Oh, I actually was working on some stuff here. Interesting. Oh, I think I demoed this before kind of quickly. You know what? I'm going to stash. I'm going to git stash these changes. Let's just see. Do I have anything else? Oh, this is a Tailwind 2 upgrade. Okay. we're good there. So let's go back and get checkout master, git fetch origin, and then git checkout this new shift branch. All right, cool. Okay, so review all the changes, run composer update, clear out any cache, and then test the application. All right, cool. So we've got all these things. We're applying code styles, we're removing stuff, converting optional helpers, removing unnecessary model property, faker methods, converting routes. Super cool. All right, so it moved resources to Lang. That shouldn't be a problem. I'm not customizing any of that stuff, so let's just kind of remove the noise. I don't think base Laravel. Oh, it's probably using fly system to download the PDF book and so forth. So read operations now return null instead of a file not found exception when it's missing. Totally fine. There shouldn't be any missing download stuffs. I don't think I send any email. No, I send the welcome emails. They go out with Mailgun for sure. So let's run this. So that's good that it detected that. So let's bring up Docker so I can get all these composer install things running. And then, uh-oh, my daughter's coming. I gotta close my door. Don't want her coming in here banging on the live stream. All right, cool. Okay, so Docker's running. File system driver was renamed. Shift it and find this. Okay, that's fine. I shouldn't be referencing that anywhere because I'm not changing the disk. Shift updated my config files. That should be fine, but I'm actually going to click off to review this just in case. And then let's see here. Same thing. I'm not using the cloud bit, so that's totally fine. I don't have any APIs token stuff, so I don't need to consider moving to Sanctum. Updated dependencies, awesome. Migrations, awesome. And all these cool things I can run next, which I might, but that'll be a separate stream, so we'll get rid of that. So really the only thing out of this, again, knowing Shift, knowing my application, I was able to go through that pretty quickly, but really the only thing in here that for such, a normal size, medium size, probably even small size actually, application, all I really need to mess with is just pulling in this Mailgun stuff. So let's do deck lamp here. That should get us into Docker, and let's go ahead and make sure we can require these things. And I'm still running, it looks like an old version, PHP version. Oh, Sentry, that's weird. Let's run this and kill that. No, wait, I think we gotta run composer update first. Let's try that. There we go. Yeah, I think because Laravel was outdated, it didn't like those things. So let's run composer update first, like the pull request said, and then let's rerun this composer require bit. Let's try this again. There we go. Just got to follow the instructions. All right. Yeah, kids bursting in. Just one for now. Little Izzy, but yeah, she's been very like monkey lately. She would like literally like climb up while I'm in here or bang around. Okay, so this is good. So I think we're in a good place. Build's failing, but it's probably failing because composer. Oh, I've got some old stuff here. All right, we're gonna try to fix that real quick. Okay, so what I'm gonna do is run my test locally. Why does it not like, oh. Is this, oh, that's what's going on here. That is inaccurate. Let's nab this. I forgot, this site is actually it's sub-nested, so that's why Composer was being a little weird a second ago actually. So let's go back a second. Let's Composer update the site. I was wondering why PHP unit wasn't floating around in there. The structure's nested, so like the book, markdown and assets and all the stuff, they're kind of top level, and so are some of the images and assets, and then the site is, which is the Laravel app, is under site. So that was the issue there. There we go, there's Laravel framework, I just saw it. Yeah, right there, boom, 9.12. Must have just been tagged today. Tuesday's the normal Laravel kind of minor release day. So let's let these go through. This should take a little bit longer. And then once those do go through, we should be able to push it up and hopefully see that everything's green. So while we're waiting on that, let's fix this workbench build real fast. Or not workbench build, sorry. Workflow on GitHub. I've got shift on the brain. So base, Laravel. And we'll see here when I bring this up, that structure that I was talking about. All right, so yeah, I have kind of like the static assets of the site, manuscript, source folders for like the example code and all that stuff. So the site itself is where Laravel lives. So there's that common structure we can expect. No, don't move stuff. All right, let's check out this build here. So only for site, working directories site. Let's bump this up to 8.1 because that's ultimately where we're going. I think this is now 8.1 is what it considers. It's going to validate the composer and then it's going to run our test suite. So this should update things for 8.1. Let's let composer finish. We'll attempt to run the tests locally first, and otherwise we'll go ahead and push it up and let GitHub do its tricks, and we'll just keep moving down the line. Ooh, coffee cooled off a little bit there. All right, well, while we're waiting on that, let's check a few other things in here. So let's see if I have anything else. Everything else should be fine. Don't think any of this other stuff is going to matter that much. Let's check that PR, or that commit that we mentioned. Okay, so default config files. So it goes in for Laravel 9 and leverages their new fancy alias. Ooh, this alias I think is different now. So we should check that out. Good thing I looked at this. I should probably add that to the automation as well. Got rid of the token, just a little comment update there, so no big deal. So again, shift, it calls this default core or config files. What this is attempting to do is actually do like a three-way merge for you where it takes your current file, Laravel's default file for the version you were on, and then the new version of Laravel. So it takes those three and attempts to put Humpty Dumpty back together again. So in this case, it didn't change any of my customizations in my app config, but it did go in and get that new Laravel 9 tweak by kind of comparing what it loads by default in this new default aliases facade, and then merges in my customizations. And then as far as the comments, of course, it recognized that this was kind of a default comment from a previous version of Laravel, so it knew it was safe to go ahead and put the new ones in. But it didn't affect any of my customizations in between. So think of it like a three-way merge, just a little bit contextual around Laravel. It's not always perfect, but it gets better every version. So this has been a pretty cool feature, I think. Because config files are they're always changing. So it's a nice way to kind of keep that clean. All right, let's run this for the third time as a charm. There we go. All right, so everything looks good here. We just need to finish up this. So let's make sure this commits. We'll commit this as composer update. We'll update the workflow. We'll push that up. And while it's running, we're going to move on to the next PR that we have. If you all have any questions or want to see anything, just let me know in the chat. Otherwise, I'm just going to keep hammering through these the way I would on my own, and we'll kind of go from there. Docker's being quite slow, so we'll just have to bear with it. Let's go out to products. We got this Laravel 9 shift. Okay, so let's see if Docker's done. It is good. I'm not going to run this locally, given how slow things are. Let's just let GitHub do the work. So let's do git add site composer JSON, git commit -m. I guess I don't have a I do have a lock file. I must ignore it, I guess. Git commit -m, composer update, git add dot, git commit -m, update build for PHP 8.1. Git push origin head. Okay, that should fire off a new build down here. It is. So while it's doing that, let's move on to this products pull request here. So I'm going to go back out to products, git checkout master, git pull, and git checkout this new shift branch. And I think this is just a normal application, so that's good. So let's go into deck lamp and let's run composer update. And while it's running in the background, to save us some time, we'll review the PR. So same stuff. We see that it applied Laravel code style, probably just had a few odds and ends somewhere. Moved the Lang resources folder, removed fruitcake. That's now assimilated into Laravel, its own middleware. It was just a small package anyway. Streamline the commands property, deprecations, upgrade to fly. Was I actually, I shouldn't have been using fly system here, so that's kind of interesting. It looks like it added it. I'm actually going to revert that commit. I don't think I need fly system on this products thing, so let's get rid of that. Okay, shift core files, removed web config, updated the faker methods. That's pretty standard. Again, shifting those core files, the dependencies got bumped. I upgraded to Laravel Mix, so that might be a bit interesting. We'll have to check that out, make sure that still works. Okay, so that shouldn't be a problem. I am sending email on packages as well, so we're going to want to run the same command. That should be fine. Again, I'm not using any of these in any special capacity, so everything should be committed, I believe. So those shouldn't be a problem. Let's get rid of these other ones. Again, no APIs for this particular app, so that's all good. It updated the dependency, so we will take a look at that. I do want to check out NPM, so I'm going to leave that. Anonymous migrations, all good, and again, more cool stuff we can run from Shift. Build's failing probably for the same reasons. So let's swap projects. This is products. All right, that's still going. So let's check. Well, I guess we can't really check NPM until Composer's done. There was one more thing I wanted to look at. There was a code change in here. Oh yeah, the workflow. All right, so same drill. Let's get in here. Let's borrow that overtrue stuff that I pulled before. I wonder if this is build's failing here. Let's see why this is failing. Okay, so we've got a timeout. Free geo resulted in 520? What is a 520? Is that a timeout or a rate limit? Web server is returning an unknown error. Oh, Cloudflare. Interesting. Okay. So it looks like my little country check where I offer the purchasing power parity discounts based on where you are in the world seems like something's wrong with that, although it really shouldn't be hitting. Oh no, the geo client test itself does actually make the call. Okay. But it's good to know that the overtrue lint and all these other things actually worked the way we wanted. So I would actually consider this mergeable because this little timeout doesn't bother me. So yeah, I think that's actually in a pretty good place. Let's just see if this had mix 6.2 as well, which it didn't. I think I already updated base Laravel for it. So you know what? I'm going to hit squash merge on this, and I'm going to call this one done. if I get enough time when I get through these, I'll actually deploy this live, but let's keep going. Okay, so what I want to do real quick is just go back to base Laravel and let's cat out that GitHub workflow build. I want to borrow this. Make sure we're setting up PHP for all the stuff we need to do. All right, so this should look pretty similar to the same build that we have over here. So we check out the code, we set up v2, and then we run, instead of my fork of it, we run that. So we shouldn't need path anymore. And I don't know why we're excluding the log files, but whatever. Let's just change path to dot, I guess. I've got a CI generator that I should really run on these too. Again, different stream, but okay, that should fix that. Let's go back to where we were, and we need to run that same composer require command to get these other two things. And same drill, I'm going to push these up the way we did before. There's one last thing I do want to check though. I don't actually think I commit. Oh yeah, I do. No, we're good. Never mind. We're good. False alarm. I thought maybe I had an uncommitted env file where I might want to check those renamed environment variables, but I actually don't. So all good. All right, so while Docker's catching up, let's go see. Products just ran. I guess we'll do getting git next. Since there's an issue on that one, we'll have to check that out here in a minute. All right. Oh yes, and I wanted to revert this. So let's borrow that for a second. And all that should look good. So I probably don't want to revert it because it just updated the log file. I probably actually want to remove it. So let's look at Composer, and oh gosh, I haven't done this in a while. Is it Composer remove? Yeah, okay, cool. All right. Indeed. All right, as soon as it generates these optimized files yet again, we should be good to push this back up. So while we're waiting on that, let's go ahead and switch projects to getting git. And I'm just going to open up another tab here since it's going slow. We'll keep things moving. GST, let's just git stash include untracked. All right, git checkout master, git fetch origin. Wow, that is behind. All right, and what was that? Getting git, there it is. Git checkout dash. All right, and then same thing. Let's just go ahead and run. We know we're gonna need to do it. We know it's gonna take a while. So let's just run composer update here as well. We're so close on that. All right, let's get out of Docker on this side. Let's make these commits. We'll push it up and see how it's doing with its build on GitHub and test suite and so forth. So let's add composer, standard old composer update commit message, and then same thing here, that same commit message. So why type it again? We'll just search our history for it. Is there a reason Shift doesn't only do the fly system update if it is already a dependency? Yeah, that is kind of a bug, isn't it? I remember Jess and I talked about this. There was some kind of loophole where you may be using fly system through like AWS API or something. So we ended up searching the code base for like common drivers. And if you were using like storage disk S3, for example, if it found that little bit of a snippet, then it went ahead and added it for you, even though it might not have already been there before. But you're right. In most cases, it should really only do it if it was already there. But I think, again, we had some people email support and say, oh, it didn't bump fly, or it didn't add fly system. And we found out like they had, again, like AWS's, you know, API or something like that. Something about that. But the problem is the search, I think, yields false positives, because I think in the config file for the file system config file, there actually is a snippet that says like disk S3 in there. So I think I probably got that false positive. So probably what I need to do is research that a little bit more and say that if the only instance it found was a code instance and it was in a config file, then it should be ignored, basically. So there's some tweaking there, long story short. So you're right. It really should kind of only do it if it already exists, or in the event that it finds actual, you know, production code that uses disk, basically storage disk. All right. Where are we here? We pushed up this. Let's just make sure this build's running. Oh, it is, but it failed. Let's see why it failed. So it failed to run the test suite. No application encryption key specified. That is strange. That's very strange. Do I have... What am I doing in base Laravel that allows it to work? Maybe I put app key in PHP unit? No. I must set it as like a prerequisite thing. All right, so the build's a little bit messed up on this products thing. I'm gonna come back to that. I think the one more thing I wanted to do on that before we fully switch, we're kind of going back and forth here, but before we fully switch, I do actually want to attempt to, I'm going to tempt fate here and remove node modules and the package lock file and attempt to run npm install, because this claimed to have updated to mix 6. So I want to make sure everything still builds for me. I might be running a really old version of Tailwind on this, so it may not. But let's just spend a minute. I want to demo these as true to life as possible. And npm is an unfortunate part of the upgrades sometimes. So let's let that run. We'll pop back over here. We know again that getting it is going to send email, just like all of my other product applications, the welcome email, the forgot password, the whatever. So we know we're going to need to do that. Let's go ahead and let Composer do that. And then same thing here. Let's take a peek to Ryan B's point. Did it add this or was it already there? So this again added it. Getting Git does not have any downloads that are in there. So I am also going to remove that. So I definitely will take a look at that. That it really, in my opinion, for these last two, it should not be doing that. Okay, same drill. Let's get rid of this. Again, we shouldn't be using that. We just ran this command, so I can go ahead and delete that. And again, you don't have to delete these. You can thumbs up them, you can thumbs down them, you can do whatever you need to. But I just like clearing them up and seeing, you know, that there's no comments left. So let's take a peek at this just for educational purposes. I'm not using any API stuff, so it's okay that the token driver got removed. I don't need to bump to Sanctum or anything. Let's take a look at these updated dependencies as well. Again, just for thoroughness and kind of explain again what Shift's doing in these two scenarios. So again, now that I've run this command already, I really don't have anything special I need to do here. So let's take a peek at these. So it's default to config file, same thing we saw before, exact same thing literally. I like to keep my config files pretty defaulted, so you're not seeing a lot of change here in these applications. So some people might have a much larger commit there. So we see here that it bumped Berry Dev, all that other kind of stuff. That looks pretty good. Oh, I totally forgot. We were gonna update that facade name. That was too quick of me. Okay, we're gonna do it on this one before we forget, and then I'm gonna add some automation for it. Good. Okay, cool. So we want to remove. Oh, I don't think it was on this one. We want to remove fly system again from this thing. So let's get back into composer JSON, and let's copy this. And while we're waiting on that, so remove that. Oops. Didn't copy enough. V3. Oh, okay, yeah, see, that's what it is. I knew I was onto something with that AWS. It's not actually pulling in like leave fly system itself. It's pulling in kind of the sub-dependency based on what it found. That's what it is. So it thinks it found S3 in the project based on those references in code to disk S3. That's why it's pulling in this one. But I bet in this application, if we went in just while we're waiting for Composer and I search for like S3, we'll see that it's, if I limit it to like just my application folder, it's only in file system. See how it's pulling out this disk and driver? It's not anywhere like actually in my code. So I just need to have Shift be a little bit more intelligent about the instances it does find. They have to kind of be outside of the config folder effectively. Don't include the config folder in the search path. So pretty easy to do. Okay, cool. What were we gonna do here next? Oh yeah, we were gonna go to the app config. And this is something I think I'll add to Shift's automation just for a little help. It looks like I'm not registering it here, but there might be some references in code. So let's go to, yeah, Berry, PDH, yes. I think the reference to this is now a bit different. Let's look under app. Okay, apparently I'm not using it at all. That's strange. Is it in a view? Resources. Oh, maybe I'm just using PDF directly. There we go. Yes, I'm using it here. So this gets loaded. So I think in this particular project, it's okay. But if the point here is that this got renamed. And I'll bring up base Laravel to show you what I'm talking about. But if we go back to GitHub, not Laravel Shift, it's my top hit. I'm sure you can understand why. Let's go back to this pull request just so I can show you what I'm talking about. And I'm going to add this to Shift's automation actually as part of its cleanup. But if we go back to that default config files, this is the old reference to that facade. If we look, it's now facade's PDF to make it a little more in line with Laravel's structure. That way you can import it kind of directly as is. So I think for the Laravel 9 shift, what I may do is help people with that, since it's such a popular package, might clean that up. So I need to make a little note to go and do that myself. Back on base Laravel. Okay. All right, so I'll go back and fix that here in a little bit. Otherwise, I think this is in a pretty good place. I can leave it a global reference because that actually ends up registering an alias. So that's why it's not really going to matter, I think, in the last two projects. But because it's actually registered manually by me here in this project, I can either remove this or I can update that reference properly. So again, I think I'll add that to Shift's automation. That's why I love kind of dog fooding this stuff. Okay, I think getting Git is good to go. Does it have some GitHub workflows? Yes, it does. Okay. So this is going to be 8.1. And we said this is like over true PHP lint 8.1, I think we said. I don't have it in here anymore, but we can scroll back in our history and find it. Over true, there it is. So let's borrow that. And there we go. All right, so same drill. Let's bail out of Docker. Git add composer. Commit composer update. Git add dot. Commit. And I'm just using cycle through your history. I think they said it in the chat, but basically I'm using Control R. I'm Bash, but I think it works in ZSH as well. So if I just do that, I can kind of get like a reverse search through my command history, and I'm saying commit, and then I just hit Control R again, and it's going to go through anything that says commit on it, and we can see we can go way back in time. So just saving myself a little trouble there instead of retyping all those commands, since we're pretty much doing the same thing. So as you can see, a lot of shift. If you keep your application, maintained, try to just not just bastardize the config files. Some people, do that. They go in and they remove all the things they don't use and stuff. Like, just why waste the effort? Again, they're changing all the time. Just leave them as default as possible. Leverage those env variables that they give you, and let Shift do the rest. Like, it's pretty straightforward stuff. So we can see that these upgrades are super, super simple now. And again, these are smaller applications. So, it makes sense that Shift is doing a majority of the work. That's not to say that a bigger application that heavily used, the mailer, again, in custom ways, may have had to review those comments more closely, or was heavily using Fly system. They might have more to do. But for all the other stuff, like, it crushes it. So, and there's a lot of crap in here. A lot of people just go in and bump their composer update, but I mean, there's so much technical debt that they're picking up, like the faker methods. All these things seem innocuous, but someday they're going to go update faker by running composer update, and their whole test suite's going to break, and they're going to spend hours learning that, faker no longer allows you to do direct property access. You don't even have to think about it with Shift. It's not listed in the upgrade guide. It's not anything that anyone would ever know, but Shift does it. So, okay, cool. So getting Git, hey, look at this. We actually got a checkbox on the build. All tests are passing. So let's just kind of take a peek at that. I don't think I have much in the test suite. Yeah, just a couple small things. But hey, this one's, according to this, it's good to go. So I'm going to go ahead and merge this one as well. Great. What's our time here? We're at 38 minutes. So we've upgraded 3 projects in 38 minutes. Again, there was a bit of an intro there. Docker's super effing slow. So we're about 10, 11 minutes per project here. I mean, and it's thoroughly upgraded. So, all right, I'm going to squash merge that, delete the branch. And let's go back here and finish this npm thing here. So npm did install. We'll handle those vulnerabilities later. I think what I want to do right now is just run npm run prod. I basically want to make sure that mix still builds. Because mix 6 was a pretty decent change. As we all know, npm can be a pretty crappy place to have to work out dependency issues. But again, fortunately for a pretty straightforward project here, all I had to do was bump my node modules folder and run npm install, and it's all good. So nothing to do here. Cool. So I think this one's merge worthy as well. Although uh-oh, Izzy's here. So yeah, I think one more thing I want to do though, back on products, was I just want to search for that PDF as well. I am using it, but again, I'm referencing it in the slash global capacity, so I don't think that one's going to be an issue. So for those reasons, I am going to go ahead and merge this one as well. So we took care of mix, and we've installed the mailer. So this one, oh, wait, why do these fail again? Oh yeah, the app key. Let's take a quick peek at this. Again, this is unrelated to the upgrade, but did I not copy over the app key? I guess not. Is it not in PHP unit? No, it's not. That is very strange. I wonder what I'm using that would force the app key here, but not in the other projects. Because if we go back to getting Git, unless it's picking up like user local somehow. I must be using encryption somewhere in the products. That's strange. Oh no, there we go. There's my answer. I have app key hard-coded in PHP unit. All right, I'm just gonna do the same thing over here, because what's it matter? All right. I guess when I was running locally, I had a symlink env, so it picked up the one for my dev environment, but on CI, it doesn't have it. So let's just lock it in there. Set app key for testing. Yeah, you're right. I probably do have a signed URL inside of these applications for shareable links. I think I do. But anyway, it looked like for some of these simple projects, I'm just hard coding it in PHP unit so it can all run independently. So that's good. Okay, the last one I think we had on the list was workshops by JMac, but it appears like, so we'll leave this open for a second. It's rerunning. Hopefully that all passes. And then we merged base Laravel. I'm going to leave this up as a reminder for myself. So the last thing is what happened here. All right, shift failed to push changes, blah, 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 blah. Something must be wrong with workshops by JMac. Maybe this was the one that I renamed to main? No. There's not a pull request. Okay, very strange. Well, let's get into the server and see why. This is called that. I've ran so many shifts, I guess I exceeded my GitHub rate limit for my individual non-organization account. Nice. Okay. Good enough. Let's go to branches then, and let's delete this branch is what I'm trying to do. Oh, it is deleted. Okay, good. I should then theoretically just be able to rerun this because it's been a little bit. So let's try to rerun this. So it's queuing, it's running, and we can just watch it here for giggles. So this is kind of what you see in the shift log. I talked about this in a Laracon talk a while back, but it's basically going through, oh, here we go, look. So that question from Ryan earlier, here's kind of an event, an example of what you would see in these shift logs, but I can go in here, I get some just real simple kind of debugging information inside of here. But basically it's saying it found an S3 driver in use. So this is why that Fly System AWS package is being added. Now this again is probably a false positive, so I'm going to be reviewing that code off stream. But anyway, this time it did indeed open the pull request. So just a little rate limit there, nothing wrong with shift, more to do with GitHub not liking the fact that I spawned off four pull request APIs that had what, 7, 8 comments on them, 15 commits, all in under a minute. So that was my fault. So let's go to workshops by JMac, get checkout master. git fetch origin. So same drill, we're going to copy, we're going to check that out. We're going to go into Docker. We're going to run composer update. We're going to do all those things. Composer update, and let's review. So again, probably don't need fly system here, so we can do the same thing where we remove that. We shouldn't need this mailer anymore because I'm not sending stuff out, but I'm going to pick it up. Whoops, we'll leave that for a second. And yeah, this is all standard. We know what we're doing here. So let's just remove these. All this stuff shift automated and or I don't need to worry about for this straightforward application. Let's just see these dependencies real quick while we're floating around. Oh, I did actually have one small additional comment that we didn't see on some of this other stuff. Okay, so the loop variable is no longer available when iterating over lazy collections. Now I know that I'm not using any lazy collections, but let's just go take a look at this list.blade where I'm looping over some stuff. So we've got this workshops by JMac already open, so list.blade.php, and if we go in here, basically what Shift detected was this loop variable being in use. Oh, I'm not talking to you, sorry. So it detected this loop variable in use, and because of that, it wanted to warn me that it's no longer can be used for lazy collections. Now again, it's not a lazy collection, so we're all good. So I can just checkbox that or delete this comment, again, what I like to do. All right, that's still running. While that's running, there is no CI for this, so we don't have any changes to make there. And I believe this is already running mix 6. We can go check package.json. It is, so there's no updates for that either. So provided that, yeah, there's no test suite here either, unfortunately. So really we just need to add this, and we're kind of going to push it up blindly. Not a huge fan of that, but it is what it is, right? Ugh, coffee got cold now. All right, so we'll finish up with this one, and then I think I'll call it quits for this stream. Again, let me know if you have any other questions. I may run the CI generator for this project just real quick in the background once we get this merged. We'll see. There's no tests for this, so I don't know if it's worth it to do on this one. Again, we'll check it out on our own, but gosh, Docker, you are so slow. In fairness, it's not Docker, it's Docker plus Mac file system, which is so slow. So anyway, let's punch through this next one. And I'm going to add no-scripts just to try to help us for a split second. So we will get a stream of you using the Shift to add tests. I should run the test generator for a project. I probably won't run it for this one. Workshops by JMac is kind of dead. I leave it up. I kind of leave it up just because, you know, I guess I don't. I guess people might be going back and watching some of the workshops they purchased, but you know, you can see here that, like, you know, these were a while back. This isn't even like March or May of this year. It's kind of confusing. I should probably put the date on that. But yeah, exactly, 2019. So these are 3 years old now, like I said. So they're still relevant. You could still go in here and kind of watch these for free. I should probably just make them all free, to be honest. So anyway, the point is I'm keeping the site live in case I ever do anything with it, but more so for people that may want to go back and watch some of these old streams that I did. So yeah, so for those reasons, I probably wouldn't spend a lot of time adding tests to this. But But yeah, I do need to stream something that uses the test generator. In the meantime, though, the one I was talking about was probably using the CI generator to update the builds for these older shifts, or these other projects that are active. So, because they kind of have this copy-pasted version of that build inside of Google Actions. That's just not that clean. So. Have you tried the new Docker virtual file system? Yeah, I turned that on. I updated the other week. I turned it on and it worked nicely for like 2 days. And then I don't know if I ran something that threw it off or what, but after that it really kind of, it would have to be restarted a lot and stuff. So I unchecked it, and while it is slow, I haven't had to restart anything lately. So anyway. Git add -u, and then we're going to do that old commit thing. There it is. Git push origin head. All right, that should be everything. Let me kill Docker. And I'm going to go back to base Laravel in the meantime. I think we already merged this, so I'm going to check out master. Git pull. Git logo, we did already merge it. Okay, so let's just fix, well, I don't want to forget, and we'll be thorough on stream. And again, I'm hoping to add this as part of Shift's automation. But what I want to search for here is that PDF : and yeah, same thing. I'm using this kind of global alias here in a couple different places. So I think what I would like to do is find anywhere, let's just clean this up the way I would kind of want like Shift to do it. So I think what I would want Shift to do is basically replace anything like that with this. We got 4 spots, and then I would want to import this new facade. That would be kind of the cool thing to do, in my opinion. And now that these are imported, I could go to app config in site and basically get rid of my manually imported one. As we see, it's still available, but it's deprecated. So I just think that's a nice little touch that Shift could do. Even though it's not like a core thing, it's probably not something most developers are aware of. I see those things because I kind of track, you know, the updates each week and all that kind of stuff. Or I get support tickets, you know, coming in from people saying, oh, these are the extra things I had to do, which is great. Like, please answer those feedback emails if you see stuff like this, because this is how the automation improves for everyone. So just to kind of double check that all worked the way I wanted, I'm going to use the power of PHP Storm to look for undefined classes. And there we go. There's an instance of one. So I must have missed the import here. There we go. And we can see now the nice thing about importing things directly in the file instead of kind of those global aliases is because you get this nice, you know, kind of static click through inside of your IDE. So again, Laravel has been doing this for a long time for their facades, but I've noticed that popular packages have kind of adopted it as well. The Spatie packages, Barry's packages, all that kind of stuff. So let's run this inspection again, and good, we don't have any other missing references. And again, if without an IDE helper or any of those kind of things, you would get tons of, you know, undefined classes if you ran that type of inspection on your Laravel code base because of the global aliasing and kind of the magic namespaces that are happening underneath through facades and stuff like that. Nothing against facades, but again, you can import these explicitly, and just kind of taking the opportunity to do that. So I might make that an automation or maybe a free workbench task or something like that. I don't know. But I think there's an opportunity there for something helpful for the community. So let me know what you think in the chat. In the meantime, I am going to add these directly onto master. So again, we just imported that, and instead of referencing a global capital PDF alias, we're going to use the alias through that facade that's provided directly to us. So we'll say yes. We're going to remove it from our registered aliases, again, as that capital version, because now we're referencing it directly. And that's it. Just a couple spots. So update PDF facade reference. Git push origin head, and there we go. So 4 applications upgraded to Laravel 9 using Shift in an hour, just under an hour. I will go back and deploy these one by one. That's going to allow me to safely upgrade to PHP 8.1 on the web server for these additional products. So cool. I think that's pretty good. So yeah, hopefully maybe next week or the following, I'll do another live stream, maybe of the CI generator for these similar projects to kind of update that workflow to do more things like code style checks and that linting will kind of get broken out. And these different jobs will be configured the way we want. So maybe we can get rid of that app key thing that we're kind of explicitly putting in there. That's not so awesome. So yeah, I'll do that in the next stream. Again, let me know if you're interested on that on Twitter or have any other questions. Otherwise, thanks for joining live, and I'll see you all next time.